Honeycap mushrooms obtained. And that's it, right? That was fun. Those monsters did not do a ton of damage to me by means of HP, but they did inflict a lot of status. And they were more difficult to take down than they would have appeared just based on the numbers alone. Alright, because I've got a little bit of status resist, but I don't have a ton. And, paralysis, stoppage, frozenness. It's, there's still one treasure chest in there, apparently. That was a lot. They also like to brave and default, and braving, they obviously can inflict multiple status in one turn, and defaulting, they obviously have increased defense. Alright, you in here. The lassie who looked sort of like Aerith. Did I point that out? The first time I picked up this quest, she looks kind of like Aerith for some reason in my head. You found some banana nectarines. You mean you braved the deep dark woods and the horrible monsters just for me? It was not that difficult. Again, 30 hours of gameplay ago, that would have been difficult. Anyway, so you're just making things incredibly awkward. And we've got some bomb arms, which actually works out because I used a bunch of those recently in that fight with that venomous, tentacular little shop of horrors thing. And, they're not the most useful items at this point, but they're nice in a pinch. Okay, so the other quest that I can turn in is in here. You've got those fun mushroom things. And I don't know if this is going to be the end of the story or if we're going to be seeing more of Dag and Selena.
These weren't easy to get hold of. Oh, this is great! Thanks so much! I can't wait to see my wee sister's face when she tastes them for the first time.
You're more than welcome. I hope she enjoys them.
Oh, she will. Don't worry.
Well, looks like the kid got his mushrooms.
Yes, wonderful.
What's the matter? What have you gone all sulky for?
I am not sulking. I am perfectly fine.
Look, it was my fault you dropped the mushrooms, and I'm sorry. But the kid got his hands on them in the end, and he didn't get mauled by monsters either. All's well that ends well, right?
I suppose so.
Hey, listen, the way you went to all that trouble for the little one, not many people would have done that. You've got a good heart, kiddo.
Enough of your nonsense, Dag. We have places to be.
Hey, wait up!
Alright, so have we actually seen Dag and Selena with our own eyes since we kicked their butts? Because I think every time that they've appeared in a side quest, they've sort of been hiding from us, and we have not actually seen them, I think. Anyway, party chat time. Culinary pursuits. Why can't I stop thinking about them? Ah, it's no good. It just keeps going round and round. What is it, Elvis? Ever since that wee lad mentioned honeycaps, I've been absolutely desperate to try some. They're meant to die for. And right now, I probably would die for a taste of one. Well, I guess your best years are behind you. Might as well go out with a bang. Yeah, laugh it up, you. As if I don't feel old enough already. I guess it would be pretty what? Can I scroll back in the chat log? No? Visual novels? This isn't a perfect visual novel. Yeah, if they'd been really that delicious, I'm sure I wouldn't mind trying some. You'd be needing a few. There is meant to be at least 10 different ways of cooking them. And each one brings out the flavor in a totally unique way. My mouth's watering just at the thought of it. Yeah, stop it, will you? You're making me hungry too. Same here. Hearing you talk about them's got my stomach growling. Perhaps we should keep an eye out for a restaurant that specializes in mushroom dishes. Ha! Don't give us the polite princess act. You're even more desperate to try them than we are. Ah ha ha! And why not? Life's short. Just enjoy it while you can. Okay, so I was going to head off to the Wayward Woods, and then I stopped in the item shop to buy some more Phoenix Stand because I am starting to run low on those. And Elvis, you've got another side quest for me. These things are just popping up all over the place now. I might never finish this.
Smell what?
You're joking, right? Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, I've not come across that sweet, sweet aroma for a good old while. Excuse me, pal. you've got some Mandarin tea in, aye?
You've a keen nose on you, eh? A connoisseur, are we?
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I know my Mandarin tea at least. Used to drink buckets of the stuff.
That would explain it then. Aye, it's a flavour that's hard to forget, that's for sure. I'd offer you some, but we've just this minute sold out, I'm afraid.
What? Ah, you're kidding me. Talk about getting a fellow's hopes up. So, what I can smell is my chances of having a cup wafting out of the door. Oh, well, that's just perfect.
Sorry, I really am. Tell you what, if I ever get some more in, I'll set you a bag aside. How about that?
That's nice of you and all, but I'm a travelling man. I'll probably be long gone by then. Ah, typical. It's all I can think of now. But honestly, you've got to try it. There's a reason they call it the tea lover's tea of teas.
Wow. That does sound pretty special.
So special that after I introduced it to my family, they started having it made by special appointment, no less.
Wait, I thought I recognized you. You're a Leslie, eh? No wonder you know your tea. Your lot used to be my best customers.
Well, if that's the case, then maybe you can have a dig around in the stockroom and see what you can find for old time's sake.
I'd love to help you, laddie. But I really have run out. And the only way to get more is to hunt down a lairad or two. The problem with that being that you don't see so many of them round our way these days. To be honest, it was a bit of a miracle that I managed to get my hands on that last batch.
Ah, what a pickle, eh? Well, looks like there's only one thing for it.
You're planning on hunting some of these things down yourself?
Of course I am. How else are we supposed to get our hands on these tea leaves?
Wait, we?
Aye! Or were you planning on making me do it on my own? Look, you'll thank me when you've tried this tea, I promise you. It's going to blow your tiny little mind. Or my name's not Elvis, Baron of Beverages.
Aye.
Baron of Beverages.
A pretty penny for any you can't use as well.
You've got yourself a deal, my friend. Alrighty, a hunting we will go.
All right, so we are Elvis. I can't remember his last name already. The Baron of Beverages. Mandarin tea is the tea lover's tea of teas. So we've got to collect some Mandarin tea leaves from defeated rad things. All right. Are there any more side quests in this town for me? Before I conclusively say no, I'm going to run into the Institute and check to see if any others have popped up in here. I see you hiding off in the distance. Alright, so this is Lily, who has a side quest for us, apparently. Lily, what's going on?
Please, Roddy, you've got to take a break. You'll burn yourself out.
Take a break? And what kind of example would I be setting for everyone then?
Hey guys, is everything okay?
No, everything is not okay. This pig-headed old Bampot's been working flat out for 3 days straight. He's not had a wink of sleep. And if he carries on at this rate, well...
Well, nothing. What's 3 days? Have a job to do, and I can't rest until it's finished. Anyway, I know my body better than anyone, and I'm telling you there's nothing to worry about. Now, I've got to go. I need to check in with everyone.
I knew this would happen. I'm taking you home, mister. You need your rest, and you're getting it whether you like it or not. Poor Roddy was absolutely exhausted. No sooner had his head hit the pillow than he started snoring. He's working far too hard trying to get Wiswald back on its feet. But that's who he is, I suppose. I mean, he insists that if he wants everyone to make the effort to get things back to normal, he has to lead by example. And I think that's wonderful, don't get me wrong. It's just... well, I wish he'd take better care of himself, that's all. So I've been on at him constantly about it, and we've been rowing something awful.
I can see why you'd be worried about him.
Thanks. You couldn't do me a wee favour, could you? He was off to do the rounds, see how everyone's getting on. Could you go instead? they might open up to you a bit more anyhow. And if I can tell him the world's not falling apart without him, maybe he'll not be up every 5 minutes checking on everything.
I'd be happy to help. And I'll be sure not to tell them you sent me.
I think that would be for the best, aye. Thanks. You're a lifesaver.
Okay, so this may just be a go around town quest, which is fine. Is there a shortcut back to the outside so that I don't have to go like into the dungeon and out of the dungeon again from here? This is a most peculiar place. Is there another door or something that leads to the one of the upper areas of town? Nope. It looks like I have to actually go through the dungeon again. Okay, I'll BRB. All right, where are we going? Imagine having to go like through all that to work every day. I need to actually activate that quest, so I can just put that one on hold. Leading by example. The leading by example. I need to go down into the section with the kids. Okay. Good to know. If I can do the side quest without having to leave town and go do any long, tedious, boring monster fighting errands, then all the better. All right, there is. Oh, this guy. It's right here. I'm blind. Hello.
This blue stuff's an absolute nightmare. I can't get rid of the stains, no matter how hard I scrub. If that wasn't bad enough, now I've gone and snapped the handle off my brush. I'll never get the place cleaned up at this rate. Whew. I'm in a right old pickle, no mistake.
Oh, okay. I wasn't paying attention to what he was actually saying. He was. I thought, why is there a yes/no prompt on the screen? What am I agreeing to? And then I have to give you money for a brush. I was wondering if there would be quests that that just require me to pay someone money cropping up at some point. And I guess the answer is an eventual yes.
I always make sure I've got everything I need. The boy's a marvel. Just hate to bother him, you know. Had a hard enough job convincing him to let me take over the cleaning in the first place. This is no job for a man of his talents. He's got far more important things to be getting on with. Like leading his people, for one.
You're not wrong about that.
I just wish he'd lean on us all a bit more, you know? We're here for him. He needs to understand that.
Well, it's certainly looking a whole lot better round here, eh?
All right there, Roddy. We were just talking about you.
Oh, hi. Cursing my name for working you so hard, I expect. Well, not to worry, I'm here now. You go home and rest.
Oh, no you don't. Back to bed with you, now.
Okay, so I take it there's going to be more like this. Yeah, paying people money to advance the side quests isn't the most imaginative quest objective ever, but I could certainly agree that it has its time or place, like when there are things done in town and somebody needs equipment fixed or whatever. It's certainly better than going off into the wilderness, fighting a random monster, having it drop a paintbrush for reasons unexplained, and coming back. At least in terms of making sense.
If I can't get this blasted branch out of the way once and for all, we'll never get this place rebuilt. I've sat down and used every trick Roddy ever taught me to put together a plan. I've got all the tools ready and everything. All I need to do is get things underway. The only problem is, it's way too big a job for one person. I need help.
Okay, so this is going to be another one. I have a fair amount of money. I am not concerned about 10,000 pigs right now, or 3,000 pigs, or whatever the other one was.
Really? You're just giving it to me? Wow, thanks. I'll be able to put a crack squad together with this little lot, no doubt about it. I might even be able to get them to help with a couple more things I've got in mind. Thanks again, pal. You're a lifesaver.
Oh, don't mention it. Before I go, though, can I ask you something? Have you told Roddy that you need help?
I haven't, actually.
suppose I wanted to show him I could get the job done myself, you know? After all, he's taught me so much. Only seems right to make myself useful in return.
Wow. Roddy's quite the inspiration.
All right there, big man. How are you getting on with that tree?
Oh, aye, all good, Gaffer. Everything's under control.
That's what I like to hear. Give us a shout if I can help you with anything, eh? And remember, don't overdo it. There's nothing to be gained from pushing yourself too hard.
Talk about the pot calling the kettle black. Come on, you. Back to bed.
Mismanagement Simulator, Bravely Default 2 Edition. Or at least, like, Poor Communication Skills Simulator. Anyway, mismanagement might be a little strong. There's another one. I'm guessing that this being a video game, we're going to be following the rule of 3, so there's probably going to be one and only one more. Sir, how much money do I have, by the way? Alright, I have 65,000, as long as you need less than that amount. That's the wrong one. As long as you need less than that amount of money, then we should be good.
So, Lily, I've been thinking. Oh, ignore me, love. I was just wittering away to myself.
Do you mind if I ask what it was about?
I suppose it can't hurt. See, I want to ask Lily if I can help look after the bairns the Institute took in. I thought it might make her life a wee bit easier, you know.
That sounds like a great idea. I bet Lily will be glad of the help.
You really think so? I was getting all nervous, wondering if I'd only get in the way. But we can't just carry on relying on her for everything, can we? Alright, if you think she'd be keen, I'll go and ask her. Would you mind if I... No, Lily, I couldn't help noticing.
2,400, okay. That is very reasonable. This side quest, money literally growing on trees in the case of some enemies, which are shaped like plants. This side quest serves a bit of a money sink.
Oh, that's very generous of you, but I really can't accept it.
Why not? It's all for the future of Wiswald.
I suppose you're right. Alright, maybe I will take it. Thanks so much.
Roddy and Lily are lucky to have so many people working hard to help them get Wiswald back on its feet.
Oh no, we're the lucky ones. Roddy's the best leader a country could hope for. I do worry about him though. Sometimes I think he tries to do too...
Oh, hello there. While I've got you, let me thank you for putting up with everything I've been asking you to do.
Thank me, but I haven't.
Come on now, what are you getting so flustered for? Anyone would think you...
Roddy! Roddy's working too hard. That's the truth of the matter. Rebuilding this place isn't just down to him. We've all got to do our bit. And besides, he's got all his other duties. There's a country to run after all.
You're right. He has more than just rebuilding the city to worry about. Things must be pretty difficult for him right now. Maybe I should go and see if there's anything I can do to help. I'll go talk to Lily about helping out.
That was a peculiar place to cut away, but sure. Why not? Are you going to be back in the Institute? Am I going to have to walk through the dungeon again? I probably am. So yeah, money really hasn't been much of a concern for probably most of the game now. It's not like... It doesn't really bother me that money has become meaningless within this game, because everything you fight drops money, and everything you sell gives you money, and most of the stuff that you would ever want to buy in a store, unless you're trying to buy like hundreds and hundreds of the most expensive potions or whatever, it doesn't really cost that much. But having an actual use for it, having a money sink like this isn't a bad idea. A lot of times what games might do, well, maybe not a lot of times, but occasionally what games might try to do is have some sort of skill trainer or skill teacher or something like that who will increase the stat for you, but it costs more and more money every time. But draining it into a side quest is also an acceptable answer. All right, Lily, what's been going on?
Well, How did it go?
Yeah, everybody's working hard. Feels like things will be back to normal before long. They all have a lot of faith in Roddy, and a lot of respect. But they are also kind of worried. They think he's doing too much.
Sorry I had to pick up my slack there for a wee bit. Still, if nothing else, I saw enough to tell me that this is no time to be loafing around at home. One more push, then maybe we can breathe easy at last.
Please, Roddy, you have to rest.
I can't, Hen. Not now. What kind of message would it send if people saw their leader slacking off, eh?
But Roddy, if you keep going like this, you'll end up doing it again.
Eh?
Have you forgotten our wedding, you grey oaf? You fretting about all the preparations, staying up all night, worrying yourself sick. And then finally, on the night before the big day, keeling over with the strain of it all.
I just wanted it to be perfect.
Exactly. You piled impossible expectations on yourself until they crushed you. And now you're doing it again. Look, everyone thinks it's amazing how responsible you feel for making sure Wiswald gets back on its feet. But you don't have to do it all yourself.
Lily's right.
Aye, that she is, Gaffer. Don't be afraid to lean on us. We can take it.
Of course we can. And besides, you've got all your other responsibilities to be thinking of.
But I've not been thinking straight, have I? Well, thank heaven someone has. All right, I'll take a wee break. It's for the good of Wiswald in the long run, eh? And for our good too.
I don't know how to thank you. I thought I'd never get him to see sense.
Oh, don't mention it. By the way, you said that Roddy collapsed the day before your wedding? What happened after that?
Well, we had to postpone the whole thing, of course. But we couldn't let the food go to waste, so we invited everyone round for an impromptu party anyway. The silly old fool ended up paying for 2 weddings. Honestly, if that doesn't teach a man not to overstretch himself, I don't know what will.
Roderick seems like the sort of character who everybody would be much happier if he wasn't the manager. Alright, Lily's gone. She's gone off to do whatever, and I keep hitting the plus button, but it doesn't open the party chat immediately. I'm not sure why. Roddy never rests. Yes, that's been the theme of the side quest. I should have known Roddy'd be overdoing it. He never was one to take things easy. Not something you had problems with, I'm sure. Hehehe. Well, Lady Emma always did say Roddy and I complemented one another perfectly. Far better to play to one another's strengths than to attempt to change one's nature, I suppose. Aye, exactly. I could never be like Roddy, and he could never be like me. And that's what makes it such a good team, which isn't to say that people can't change. Roddy himself has calmed down a bit compared to how he used to be. Really? He used to be even worse than this? Do tell. Oh, aye. If he got himself tied up in a tricky research problem, he often wouldn't eat or sleep for days. I got quite worried about him at one point, and took my concerns to Lady Emma. She saw what was happening straight away and gave him a new assignment to spend a whole week at home not even thinking about work. I'm reminded of one of these scenes in the show VGHS, and I'm sure in many other shows and books and movies and whatever, where the designated nerd of the friend group went to one of the teachers and asked for homework, and he told her that your homework is not to do homework, and that one took probably about half of an episode for her to figure out. VGHS was a good show. There was no other way to make him take a break. Wow. None of us really believed he'd do it, though. Lily, especially. She had to keep a close eye on him to make sure he wasn't secretly reading books under his bed covers. That's like the equal and opposite version of when you're a kid and you're trying to play your DS or whatever at night without anybody noticing or seeing the light from the backlit screen through under your door, and you try to bury the DS under a bunch of pillows or whatever. Good times. I don't think he'd ever made it very easy for her, poor girl. I can only imagine how she must have felt. Yeah, well, pushing yourself too hard doesn't do anybody any good. Let's remember that. And make sure to rest up when we have the chance. Alright, which is, I suppose, one interpretation of why I've spent the last 2 hours of this recording doing side quests, and probably will be doing at least another hour of side quests before I actually move on to the plot, because good God, there have been a lot of them in this town all of a sudden. More side quests. There is one food-related collection quest, I believe. I don't know if I'm going to have to fight monsters here, or if I'm just going to have to pick up sprigs of holly from the woods. That answers that question. There is also one inside the Lost Twisted Woods, whatever they're called, and I'm kind of not looking forward to going in there because that's very annoying. But we'll pick up the we'll do it anyway, just because it's that's one more sprig of holly. I need one more. It's here, and it's better to get it over with. And I'm sure it won't be as bad as I'm expecting it to be. Can I not get into fights with these things? Good, they're running away. I'm sure it won't be as bad as I'm remembering it. I do remember the last time I was in there. Oh no, I don't have to go into the Lost Woods. I just have to defeat a bunch of Lyvrans, or whatever those are. I don't remember what those enemies are. Alright, it stands to reason that Lyvrans are some sort of, like, plant thing. Because, if I can just chase down this bunny. Because I'm harvesting tea. Oh, you know what? Alright. There's these things. The fake bushes. I bet these are it. There's one. Mandarin tea. How many do I need? I think I need 3. So I'm going to have to go running around finding 3 more of these fake bush things. Yeah, I need 3. Alright, I will find 3 more of these things. Okay, so the cutscene is just going to continue automatically upon picking them up.
Nobody's gonna be running short of your favorite tea now, huh?
Aye, and I couldn't have done it without you. I owe you big time for this one, old pal. Now, prepare yourself for a cuppa that'll change your life. Let's go and offload the surplus first, eh? Business before pleasure.
So that's that. I am going to go back to town. I am going to turn in these 2 side quests, and I am probably going to end the recording because I gotta run now. And when I come back, there will be more side quests to do because there's still that Jormungandr thing to do in the Frostlands, at least if nothing else pops up. And I do want to clear out some of these before I continue on with the game, because I have been putting some of these off for a while. Alright. Green and red are going to be... I know at least one of them is in the Institute somewhere. Okay, so the T one is in the equipment shop, which is where I found Elvis, awkwardly. The last time I came in here to buy stuff.
Here you go, as promised.
Crikey, I didn't expect you to bring me this much.
Never underestimate the power of a good cup of tea to light a fire under a fellow.
All right, let's get you paid up, shall we? A pleasure doing business with you.
And speaking of pleasure, I reckon it's time we got a cup of this nectar down us, don't you? Hooey, that's the stuff. I could drink a bathful and still come back for more. And yourself? Bet you've never tasted anything like it, eh?
It's good. Has a certain something. I can see how you get to like it so much.
And get to like it I did. Lady Emma and I used to have a cup every afternoon. There was something about it. No matter how many times she'd told me off during the day, she'd always be nice to me at tea time. Aye, she taught me a lot. Made me the man I am today. But the first lesson I ever learned from her was how to brew a proper pot of this stuff. What you're tasting there, that's Lady Emma in a cup. I started brewing it at home and pretty soon the whole family was hooked. That's how come we started ordering it in specially. But learning to make it was no mean feat. There's a lot to it, and I was no more patient back then than I am now. She stuck with me though. Drilled it into me until I got it right at last. Best teacher a man could hope to have. I sometimes think I should have done more to thank her. Not much I can do about it now though.
Hey, Elvis. Do you ever wish you could go back? Maybe if you could do it all again, you'd listen more. Try harder.
Ach, nah. I'd be just as bad as I was the first time round, I'm sure. Some things run too deep. And besides, that angry face of hers was an absolute peach. I'd never have got to see it if I'd been a goody two-shoes. Ah, anyway, that's enough nostalgia for one day. Sorry to bore you.
Oh, it wasn't boring at all. I'd like to hear more sometime. Maybe over a cup of this delicious tea.
Aye, I'd like that.
Elvis, you are such a piece of work. Okay. Okay, this is awkward. I accidentally started the party chat sweating the details right, like, as I put the controller down. And I have left my Nintendo Switch on for pretty much the entirety of last week, because I did not know when the last time I saved was. And I didn't want to close the game and have to redo a bunch of progress, and in hindsight, I probably could have just gone into the log in the menu and revisited this one, but anyway. Sweating the details. So you're particular about your tea, huh, Elvis? Nope. That's just one of the things I'm particular about. Heh. You didn't refute him. Yep, mister, don't sweat the details here. He sweats them plenty when it comes to how stuff tastes. As should anybody who enjoys the finer things in life. Only the most sophisticated flavors can truly soothe the soul. Indeed. Although such obsessions can be taken to excess, of course. Says you. Wine's a good example. You need to know your vintages, your grapes, your producers. There's all sorts of factors to consider when picking a bottle. Fail to sweat the details there and you're in a whole world of trouble. But what about your tavern selection? I don't see you sweating many details there. Ha, shows what you know. With travels, it's all just about the atmosphere. With taverns, I keep messing that word up. It's not just a place to get a drink, it's a place to escape the stresses and strains of the world. To celebrate life in all its messy glory. So you'd best believe I'm sweating plenty of details when I pick one. And it takes an expert to spot a winner, I can promise you that. He's totally right. If the atmosphere is wrong, everything's wrong. Aye, and only then do you worry about what you're drinking. You want something that'll get you steadily but reliably merry. Nothing too fiery. Hey, the fiery stuff is what gets you reliably merry. Why not cut straight to the chase? Because, my dear girl, that would be vulgar in the extreme. A gentleman takes these things gradually. I get the feeling that in practice that's not really what you've been doing, Elvis. Oh, and there I was thinking they were in agreement for once. So they're sweating the details about which details to sweat now? I can't keep up. That sounds about right. Now I will save the game and stop recording.